So the obvious thing for me to talk about today is graphics and audio, but if you were to go to a game developers conference, what they're all talking about is emotion, purpose, meaning, understanding, and feeling. You'll hear about talks like, can a video game make you cry? These are the kind of topics we really actually care about. I came across a student who's absolutely excellent at expressing himself, and this student agreed that he would not show his video to anybody until you here at TED had seen it. So I'd like to play this video. So this is a student's opinion on what his experience of games are.
I, like many of you, live somewhere between reality and video games. Some part of me, a true living, breathing person, has become programmed, electronic, and virtual. The boundary in my brain that divides real from fantasy has finally begun to crumble. I'm a video game addict, and this is my story. The year of my birth, the Nintendo Entertainment System also went into development. I played in the backyard, learned to read, and even ate some of my vegetables. Most of my childhood was spent playing with Legos. But as was the case for most of my generation, I spent a lot of time in front of the TV. Mr. Rogers, Walt Disney, Nick Jr., and roughly 500,000 commercials have undoubtedly left their mark on me. When my parents bought my sister and I our first Nintendo, whatever inherent addictive quality this early interactive electronic entertainment possessed quickly took hold of me. At some point, something clicked. With the combination of simple interactive stories and the warmth of the TV set, my simple 16-bit Nintendo became more than just an escape. It became an alternate existence, my virtual reality. I'm a video game addict, and it's not because of a certain number of hours I have spent playing or nights I have gone without sleep to finish the next level. It is because I have had life-altering experiences in virtual space, and video games have begun to erode my own understanding of what is real and what is not. I'm addicted because even though I know I am losing my grip on reality, I still crave more. From an early age, I learned to invest myself emotionally in what unfolded before me on screen. Today, after 20 years of watching TV geared to make me emotional, even a decent insurance commercial can bring tears to my eyes. I am just one of a new generation that is growing up. A generation who may experience much more meaning through video games than they will through the real world. Video games are nearing an evolutionary leap, a point where game worlds will look and feel just as real as the films we see in theaters or the news we watch on TV. And while my sense of free will in these virtual worlds may still be limited, what I do learn applies to my real life. Play enough video games and eventually you will really believe you can snowboard, fly a plane, drive a 9-second quarter mile, or kill a man. I know I can. Unlike any pop culture phenomenon before it, video games actually allow us to become part of the machine. They allow us to sublimate into the culture of interactive, downloaded, streaming, HD reality. We are interacting with our entertainment. I have come to expect this level of interaction. Without it, the problems facing the real world, poverty, war, disease, and genocide, lack the levity they should. Their importance blends into the sensationalized drama of primetime TV. But the beauty of video games today lies not in the lifelike graphics, the vibrating joysticks, or virtual surround sound. It lies in that these games are beginning to make me emotional. I have fought in wars, feared for my own survival, Watched my cohorts die on beaches and in woods that look and feel more real than any textbook or any nightly news story. The people who create these games are smart. They know what makes me scared, excited, panicked, proud, or sad, and they use these emotions to dimensionalize the worlds they create. A well-designed video game will seamlessly weave the user into the fabric of the virtual experience. As one becomes more experienced, the awareness of physical control melts away. I know what I want, and I do it. No buttons to push or triggers to pull, just me and the game. My fate and the fate of the world around me lies in my hands. I know violent video games make my mother worry. What troubles me is not that video game violence is becoming more and more like real-life violence, but that real-life violence is starting to look more and more like a video game. These are all troubles outside of myself. I, however, have a problem very close to home. Something has happened to my brain.
The black area in the left hemisphere is where the damage occurs.
Perhaps there is a single part of our brain that holds all of our gut instincts, the things we know to do before we even think. While some of these instincts may be innate, most are learned, and all of them are hardwired into our brains. These instincts are essential for survival in both real and virtual worlds. Only in recent years has the technology behind video games allowed for a true overlap in stimuli. As gamers, we are now living by the same laws of physics, in the same cities, and doing many of the same things we once did in real life, only virtually. Consider this. My real-life car has about 25,000 miles on it. In all my driving games, I've driven a total of 31,459 miles. To some degree, I've learned how to drive from a game. The sensory cues are very similar. It's a funny feeling when you have spent more time doing something on the TV than you have in real life. When I am driving down a road at sunset, all I can think is, this is almost as beautiful as my games are. For my virtual worlds are perfect, more beautiful and rich than the real world around us. I'm not sure what the implications of my experience are, but the potential for using realistic video game stimuli in repetition on a vast number of loyal participants is frightening to me. Today I believe Big Brother would find much more success brainwashing the masses with video games rather than just simply TVs. Video games are fun, engaging, and leave your brain completely vulnerable to reprogramming. But maybe brainwashing isn't always bad. Imagine a game that teaches us to respect each other or helps us to understand the problems we're all facing in the real world. There is a potential to do good as well. It is critical, as these virtual worlds continue to mirror the real world we live in, that game developers realize that they have tremendous responsibilities before them. I'm not sure what the future of video games holds for our civilization, but as virtual and real-world experiences increasingly overlap, there is a greater and greater potential for other people to feel the same way I do. What I have only recently come to realize is that beyond the graphics, sound, gameplay, and emotion, it is the power to break down reality that is so fascinating and addictive to me. I know that I am losing my grip. Part of me is just waiting to let go. I know, though, that no matter how amazing video games may become, or how flat the real world may seem to us, that we must stay aware of what our games are teaching us, and how they leave us feeling when we finally do unplug.
Wow.